Zach Wilson to the bench, Mike White starts. Probably not the move I would make. You can lose a guy. So my takeaway is, first of all, I never liked Zach Wilson. I thought he was too loose, too casual, did not play with urgency. He relied heavily on the spectacular. That's not it, man. That's college. That's Mountain West football. That's the schedule BYU plays, right? That's not SEC football. That's not NFL football. You got to do the mundane really well. He's heavily reliant on hero ball and the spectacular. Peyton Manning's a great example of how to do it. Every play felt like surgery. Peyton Manning, they called him a teeth clencher. Every play mattered. In the NFL, it does. So if you're going to err on the side of Peyton Manning, not Drew Lock. Don't be casual. Zach is casual. Second thing is, intangibles for quarterbacks are huge. Maybe not middle linebackers, maybe not guards, maybe not safeties. But for quarterbacks, Joe Burrow's got them all. Coachable, toughness, likability, reliability, emotional discipline. I talk to Burrow every week in a podcast. He avoids getting in trouble. He knows what to say, when to be supportive, when to have an opinion. That stuff matters a lot. You are the face as a player. You're the coach on the field and the face of a franchise. Zach's not good at that stuff. Third, words matter by quarterbacks. Like a word. No. Are you to blame for the loss? No. What would Eli Manning have said? Eli Manning was legendary, to use another Manning. Eli, whenever the Giants lost, always available to the press. When they won, he preferred other guys to go out and speak for the team. Eli's really smart. Peyton's really smart. They got it. Words matter. Do you think it's your fault, Zach? No. Lost the room. Couple of things to really think about here. Robert Saleh defended Zach Wilson 3 weeks ago. Called anybody who questioned him idiots. I must be one. Right? And now he bails on him. So that means over the course of 3 weeks, he's lost the locker room. He's lost players. He's lost veterans in that Jets defense that, are given everything they have. And he's lost some of those guys. Don't kid yourself. Robert Saleh probably contacted, a couple of veterans privately and said, fellas, what do you hear in the locker room? I'm sure Sala did that. Something else to think about. If you look at the Jets schedule, a lot of tough road games coming up, and they're a fringe playoff team. The next 2 games after Chicago, at Minnesota, at Buffalo. They're going to be underdogs in those. That means Chicago and a bad defense is a must-win game because Buffalo and Miami have better rosters, and it's fair to say that Belichick is the better coach than Sala, although Sala's had a good year. So Chicago is a must-win game. They've also got later in the year at Miami and at Seattle, 3,000-mile flight over to the Pacific Northwest. So you start looking at the schedule, this is an incredibly winnable game for the Jets. I like them this weekend. Now I'm not so sure, but the staff is looking at film, and Mike White, to them, can win a game they really, really need to win. 2 other things, and this is not a shot at Robert Saleh. I think it's a reality. He's a highly emotional guy. I've seen a lot of swings. Support him, bench him. He's very emotional. I tend to think that when you're a quarterback or a head coach, you got to kind of play 30,000 feet above. They call them walk-around coaches in the NFL. Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells. They're called walk-around coaches. They walk from unit to unit to unit. See a little there, a little optimism there, a little critical thinking there, a little criticism there, a little positivity there. They walk around. Saleh tends to be all in, very young, very passionate. His emotions week to week are really on display. Don't love it. I think he'll grow over time, but I don't love that part. The second thing about Saleh, and I had real doubts coming in. I didn't like Zach Wilson. I wasn't sure on Saleh. I do think Saleh's had an excellent year, and you can see his coaching. So today, I believe, like Justin Fields as the Bears quarterback, Robert Saleh as the Jets coach, I think you got a winner. Now, they got to win games. Justin's got to win games eventually, and Robert's got to win games. But I do think they've both turned a corner. As a quarterback and as a coach, they've turned a corner. The other thing is, and this is undeniable, and I have talked about this multiple times, these defensive coaches and young quarterbacks ain't good. Belichick, Mac Jones, Ain't good, bro. Regressing. The defensive coaches, mistakes by quarterbacks drive them insane. Well, young quarterbacks make mistakes. Mike Tomlin saying yesterday about Kenny Pickett, yeah, we'd like it to go faster. It's not going to go faster. He's a rookie quarterback. I have seen over and over and over defensive coaches, Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins. Now Kirk's flourishing. It's not that Mike Zimmer can't coach. He's a great coach. Pete Carroll and Russell couldn't get along. Belichick and Brady. Now Mac Jones is regressing. You got to be patient with young quarterbacks. He played BYU, Provo to New York City. Go look at BYU's schedule. They played 4 good teams. Utah twice, Washington, and a Coastal Carolina team. They went 0 for 4. It's going to take some time. Never thought Zach Wilson was the guy. Never did. In this moment, I just get the most out of him, see what we can do. But that Bears game is really winnable. They got to go to Seattle and Miami and Minnesota and Buffalo, and Sala's saying, we got a playoff defense. We got playoff special teams. We got a playoff coaching staff. We got some playoff pieces on offense. I'm not throwing this season away. He's just telling you, I don't trust Zach Wilson. I trust Mike White over Zach Wilson. This is, for years and years, I always talked about the hat on backwards that drove me nuts. But really, it was metaphorical for something else. Is that when you are the face of the franchise and you go to that Tuesday or Wednesday press conference where they've got the logo of your team behind you, and like in Kansas City, it's a bank, or in Philadelphia, it's a bank. It's a huge sponsor. They pay $10 million a year to the team, and they put their logo all over the stadium and the Wednesday press conference. It always drove me nuts when quarterbacks had their hat back on and kind of casually walked up there. And I'm like, no. No. That is the moment of the week. Those 12 minutes of comments are going to be columns all over the city. They're going to be sound bites on ESPN and Fox. You think it's 12 minutes. If you take it casually, I wear my hat on backwards when I'm cleaning the garage. I don't do it for a business meeting. I wear my hat on backwards if I'm sitting around there with a putting green. I'm sitting around, something in somebody's backyard. I don't do it for a business meeting. That little press conference, when I always used to say hat on backwards, people would send me pictures of Brady doing it. And that little press conference, it matters. Brady always got it. Peyton always got it. Herbert always gets it. Burrow always gets it. I talk to Joe Burrow every week. He gets it. Your words simply matter more. Your actions matter more. Take it. How many times did Baker Mayfield snarkily whiff during that press conference? Picking a teammate, call out the medical staff. It's like, Baker, this is not a frat house. This is 12 minutes of really serious stuff. You're the face of a franchise. If you're the lead actor for a movie and you go on a talk show, it could be Kimmel, it could be Colbert. You're talking for the producer, the director, your co-stars, the staff, the people funding it, the movie studio. You're the face of that movie. Right? Know that 12-minute guest on Conan or whoever it is, it's a real moment here. You're speaking for many people. So I just think I saw it with Johnny Manziel. I saw it with Drew Lock. I see it with Zach Wilson. It's this sort of loose, casual, too cool, snarky. Man, this is a grown-up job. And it's really unfair in America that we ask 23-year-old kids from small towns to basically be the face of a franchise. It's really unfair. Most of us, like me, we make a lot of mistakes in our 20s, finally get a pretty good job in our 30s, grow into a great job in our 40s. Most millionaires are minted in their late 50s. But pro sports is weird, and football is different, and we ask 23-year-olds to act like 43-year-olds, and it is hard. That's why we care about Wonderlic, and we do these interviews and ask about your parents. It matters. A simple, singular word. Is it your fault? Nah. Lost the room. One word, 2 letters. No. Hit the bench. One word. So when you go to that press conference, all you young guys out there, I criticize Jameis for immaturity. Johnny, Drew, Zach, Baker. My track record's pretty good. About 5 for 5 on this stuff. Like, you can be rigid. Like, Justin Herbert doesn't say much. Joe Burrow's kind of reticent to give you a lot. Brady was boring for decades. Err on that side. Eli Manning. You know, he would just kind of talk in circles for decades. He got it. He understood it. It matters. So that's where we are. Mike White, good luck. I tell you, boy, he must have really lost the locker room. Zach was 5-2 as a starter this year, and the Bears defense stinks. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.